We interrupt this program to bring you a very important message. That, everyone, is the entire message. For 5 years now, 150,000 American troops, well, give or take a few 100,000 because they rotate them in and out, and they kill them and they injure them and they send them off here and there, have been captive in a foreign country on a nasty, dirty, awful mission. No good reason. Despite all of the happy talk, there's nothing to show for it but death and devastation and the destruction of an entire nation with which we had no real argument in the first place. This war actually began 17 years ago. Before I met my ex-wife, before my son was born, this war began. Administrations of both kinds have prosecuted this war and the devastation of this nation, and it's taken an entire generation, because my son is a junior in high school now, and this war has gone on this entire time. I've had it, and I'm here to put this slogan out because it seems to me that the current war and the current anti-war movement and the current administration and the current opposition have all failed in the mission. The anti-war movement has spent its every last ounce of its energy in the last 4 or 5 years attempting to bring the Democrats back into power so that they would end the war. The Democrats have now gained a fair amount of power, and they are now refusing to do it. I believe that was an incorrect strategy from the start. Didn't like it. Didn't participate in it an awful lot because I didn't like it. Always argued against it, and now it seems to me it's about time for the anti-war movement to accept that that's a failed strategy, and they really have to go back and change it completely and start all over again. You cannot rely on either party in power, because if we remember, it was all of the Republicans except one, Ron Paul, and half of the Democrats. And if you have half of the Democrats, and those are the guys who are in charge of that party, who are you going to appeal to? The half of the Democrats who are out of power? Terrible mistake. It's a terrible idea to plead with them constantly and consistently, as this movement has done. And I'm not going to quietly watch as people do it any longer. I'm going to complain about it every time that people continue to do that. I think it's a terrible thing. I think the movement has to strike out on its own. This slogan, "Free Our Troops," comes from the Iraq vets against the war. I'm a veteran myself, so don't cry to me about chicken hawks and people who haven't served and don't know anything about it. And this comes from the Iraq vets against the war. So go complain to them and see what those Marines and soldiers and sailors have to say to you about it. That's the message that I think the anti-war movement needs to bring forward, and not all these other messages about trying to appeal to the loyal opposition party that will someday fix things for us. Not going to happen. Told you so. Hi everybody, it's Friday night at 6. I'm Pete Healey.